Hello.
Hello.
Well, where does one start? I mean, the gentleman here talked about Marcus Garvey. I would like to talk about Frederick Douglass. Frederick Douglass said a very interesting thing. That was a cracker who said that it is clear that John Brown loved the Negro people more than I did, because although I am willing to live for them, John Brown was willing to die for them. This man comes on your show dressed in BDU, battle dress uniform replete with beret, which is the uniform of a warrior. A warrior is someone who fights with violence against an enemy in combat. This man has never done that, and I proclaim that he will never do that. You know, he's got on his BDU an emblem of Africa in the tricolor of what is a traditional flag of Libya, the flag that is now flying over Libya, except for Tripoli.
I must stop you right there, sir, because you obviously.
I want to finish my statement.
Well, I must stop you right here, sir, because you sound.
Right now on Channel 34 yesterday on Democracy Now, Amy Goodman proclaimed that in Libya, under that flag you have on your arm, Africans are being chased through the streets and murdered and lynched by Libyans. The entire diaspora of the African people into the Western Hemisphere, into the New World, was started by Arabs from above the Sahara. Slavery, which ended in this country a long time ago, is still being carried out as we speak today in Africa. And crackers, as you refer to them, Christian crackers, at their own expense and at danger to their own lives, travel down to places like Somalia and Sudan and Darfur out of their own pocket to buy back into freedom little African boys and girls who are being subjected to slavery.
You sound like a really good coon.
Which are armed militias supported by the Arab patrons. And this man has the audacity to come on your program, sir, and use racial epithets. And, I mean, where does one start with this individual?
Well, okay, hold up. Let me address that, because you addressed that to me. For the record, I've allowed you, this is MNN, this is Access Television, I've allowed you to use racial epithets. It is not my job, and I think that I have many times stated my own position, but right now I have a guest, and I'm asking him for his position so that you can evaluate that position and offer something to the conversation. I really don't want to get into Darfur, because I actually think that there are a few misnomers that, and we'll deal with the issue of Darfur and the issue of Libya on some other place in time. I will allow him to respond to your comments right now. I understand where you're coming from. Again, I didn't cut him off. I didn't cut you off. And if someone else calls up with a different opinion, I probably won't cut them off unless they go too crazy. But we'll allow King Samir to address your comments.
Yes, sir. You know, brother, it's that kind of talk that keeps us in this condition of being a weak, punctified, sissified black man. It hurts me, sir, to hear you come on this show sounding like a really good coon, sounding like a black man who's been patted on the head, probably being patted on the head right now by Penelope, hiding in your closet or your bed baking cookies somewhere. You know, it really sickens me when black people try to wake up our own people. We have our own people who somehow, some way, strive to find a way to intellectualize why they still want to love their enemy. John Brown, I don't give a damn about that cracker. There's nowhere in history that's going to prove to me John Brown gave his life sincerely to help black people get free. What you obviously don't know, sir, is the political agenda that no-good cracker John Brown had. It was not to help free black people. It was to make his name become a political name. Did you know John Brown wanted to run for political office So maybe you, sir, need to go really do some studying about your enemy that you claim to want to represent on this show here today, sounding like a minstrel man. Now, I'm glad the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey gave us the red, black, and green. This has nothing to do with Libya, and I will not allow you to sit here and equate this flag with Libya. This flag has been in existence for a very long time, sir. So what you need to do is really go pay attention and do your studies. Did you know the white man, the Central Intelligence Agency of the United States of America is behind Darfur. They're behind Somalia. They're behind Libya. They're behind Afghanistan. They're behind everywhere black people are suffering, sir. So don't sit up here and act like you just some old intellectual smartass, because really you sound like a good fool. Stand up, black man, be a man today, and stop defending this cracker.
Whoa, that was volatile. All right, well, as I said before, we'll get into the issue of Libya and Darfur and John Brown at some other time. And you can call me and ask me specifically what my views are on John Brown and Frederick Douglass and his assessment, and you'll probably find that we differ. In the meantime, because we're running out of time, we got about 5 minutes left, and the goal of this show is to actually come up with specific things that we can do as a people to move from point A to point B, yes, irrespective of white people. You know, I do sometimes think that we spend a lot of time either, you use saucier words than I do, but some of the things that you said I actually subscribe to.
Yes, sir.
In point of fact, I do think that we spend far too much time trying to get the love of our white daddy, mm-hmm, as opposed to taking care of our black children.
That's right.
We do have a number of serious problems. We have problems in housing. We have problems in education. We have problems in living day to day.
But how many solutions do we have?
Well, this is where I want to get. This is where we understand the problems.
Right. We could talk about the problems all day.
Let's talk about some solutions.
Well, it starts with self. You know, I was just speaking with an elder on the bus here, and we had a nice conversation. And as I told the elder, whatever we do, at the end of the night, we still have to look at ourselves in the mirror. We have to see that God in ourselves. We have to wake up, clean up, and stand up. We can no longer bow down to our oppressor or the oppression. We gotta fight. We have to fight. Fighting comes in many different degrees. Mm-hmm. Everybody can't be a frontline soldier like King Samir. But we need doctors. We need cooks. We need lawyers. We need judges. We need teachers. We need people who can plow the field. We need people who can clean the tools. So we need everybody to get in where they fit in and build a nation. Let's all come together to form that united front. I don't care what your religion is, as long as it's black. I don't care if you worship water. Just make sure that's the dirtiest water you can find. It's the blackest water on the planet, if that's what you're going to worship. But let's get out here, feed our people, educate our people, clothe and organize and mobilize our people to freedom and independence. I wish we had gotten to this a little sooner, but there was variables. But I actually don't subscribe to the Frederick Douglass philosophy that John Brown was better because John Brown was somehow willing to die. I don't think death in and of itself dictates what it means to win. Right. I don't think there's ever been a war where they counted up dead people and said, you got more dead people, so you win. You win, that's right.
We need a nation that is committed to living. As you said, we need doctors, we need economists, we need cooks, we need builders, we need architects, we need those things. We need those things. We need a nation. We need a nation. We don't just need dead bodies.
Right.
So the concept of dying, that's all we've been doing is dying. Malcolm is dead. We have not been able to replace him. You know, Marcus is dead. Our children are dying in leaps and bounds, and it's not doing us any good.
Right. And as long as we come with the John Brown ideology, we're going to remain dead.
Well, I never,
and trust me, I don't buy into that stuff
I
either.
don't even want to bring John Brown into the
I love Frederick
equation.
Douglass, but Frederick Douglass had a white woman.
I can't deal there are issues with Frederick Douglass that I don't necessarily agree with. There are things Malcolm did I don't necessarily agree with, and I love Malcolm to death.
And there may be some things I do you may not agree with.
There's things I do on Monday that by Wednesday I'm shaking my head saying, no, I shouldn't have done that. Anyway, we're going to have to wrap this up. We've run out of time. We could take this on and on and on and on and on. I'm sure there's a whole bunch of questions people have. And next week you'll get a chance to take a shot at me. But in the meantime, it has been my pleasure to have King Samir on the show, to hear from you. It has been your pleasure to be able to hear from King Samir, unedited, something something that you'll never be able to do anywhere else in the world. And we'll see you next week, and hopefully it'll be rock and roll one more time. Excellent. You can run that. I like that.
I thank the faggot Geraldo. I thank all of the elders for showing the world that God still exists. For showing the world that we are black men who will kill and die if necessary for the greater good of black people. Self-defense. Yes, sir. That's right. Huh? Right, sir. See what National Geographic